First thing we need to know and understand in research is the language used in that particular study. In this case, I just want to go through various concepts, because in real life we use words interchangeably, and they become common to a point that sometimes when you call something that we call in a community might not necessarily be interpreted correctly because we use them loosely. For an example, if I'm saying what is my goal or what is my objective, these two concepts or terms, we use them interchangeably as if they mean the same thing, whereas they do not. And that's what I'm trying to point out, to say it is important when you start your module to go through the terms and terminologies or concepts that are given before you start the study, so that you understand to say, when they speak about a goal, what do they mean? And when they speak about an objective, what do they really mean in that case? I'm not going to go into details there are so many terms that you're going to encounter in your study guide and also in the various textbooks that you guys will be using, but just to make you aware that you need to go through such. Applied research is one of the concepts which we have here in one of our study guides. What is applied research? It says research conducted to find solution for specific problems in real situation. Applied research. And there might be different concepts, okay, which is saying also, I'm trying to look at, is there a difference between applied research and scientific research? Okay, so if I'm saying someone is doing applied research and someone else is doing scientific research, are they doing the same thing? Will they come up with the same results? Are they employing the same methods? Okay, think about it and go check it. Okay, the second one is basic research. It says it's pure theoretical or scientific research with the main purpose of creating new knowledge. Go to the first term, which I said as applied research, is conducted to find a solution for specific problems in real situation, whereas basic research is pure theoretical or scientific research with the main purpose of creating new knowledge. New knowledge, solving problem. So I hope that you get the difference between the two. So, and when you go out and say I'm going to do research, you need to know what type of research am I going to do, basic or applied. And then if I'm going to do basic research, that means I need to come up with totally new knowledge, something which is not which you don't have in the community or in the business world. Whereas applied research, you say, okay, fine, how do I solve problem X given these particular tools and so on. Bias is another concept that we have in research, to say it means here prejudice or distortion. So might be biased or prejudiced, you know, I might align to a particular theory, and in whatever I do on a daily basis, I might be using that theory, but whereas my colleague, which I'm working with, might be aligned or strong, you know, thinking about a theory which is opposite that which, you know, I'm aligned to. So our decision-making processes will be influenced by what we are biased to. But in research also we acknowledge and recognize such, and then we say you need, as a researcher, to clarify what is your bias, so that whatever findings that you come up with and recommendations that you will come up with in your research also should, you know, you should have made the person who's going to read your report or even your research to be aware of your bias. And if there is that particular bias in there, and then a person can say, okay, fine, I agree with whatever the findings are, including, you know, to say, okay, even though the researcher informed us about their bias. So one can take your findings and also try and take out the bias out of it and make some useful use those findings effectively. Okay. The other term or concept, it's which I have here, you got what you call dependent variables. What is a dependent variable? It says here a variable that is influenced or changed. It's something that you need to know and understand also. You got dependent variable and independent variable. Your research problem statement will consist of either a dependent variable. Actually, it will consist of a dependent variable and an independent variable. Why is this? Something causes something. So you slap a child and the child cries. Okay. So because of the slap, the child is crying. If there was no slap, the child would not cry. So what is a dependent and independent? The cry is as a result of the slap. So the cry is dependent on the slap to happen. So things like those you need to be aware of also in research. And hypothesis is one of the concepts. I'm just jumping around. A tentative, testable statement about the relationship between two or more variables. People will have a research question, will have a research problem, and think also because it sounds nice, actually you should have also a hypothesis. Make sure that you understand. I cannot stress it enough. Make sure that you understand the concepts in research to say what is a hypothesis. Like here it says a tentative, testable statement about the relationship between two or more variables. So I might have an idea about something. Given that I have an idea about something, does it mean that's how things are? Chances are not. Okay. I might think that dogs are smart. Someone say, no, dogs, they are not smart. For various reasons. Okay. So if I think that dogs are smart, that will be a hypothetical situation in my case to say, okay, let me go out there in the world, get more information so that I can now come and prove that dogs are smart. So that is a quick example I can make about the hypothetical statement. You know, there are various examples that you can look at. Okay. And there's also this internal validity. Internal validity speaks to the extent to which the study confirms the existence of cause and effect relationship. The extent to which the study confirms the existence of a cause and effect relationship. I spoke about dependent variable and independent variable. Cause and effect came out there because I'm saying for something to happen, it's dependent on something to create it. So something is causing something. Because I'm slapping you, the effect is the cry. So we say internal validity is the extent to which the study confirms the existence of a cause and effect relationship. How valid is your research? How valid are the results of your research? Okay, so in this case, as a researcher, you need to confirm or prove to whoever will be reading your study, okay, that the findings of your study are valid based on you confirming the existence of that cause and effect relationship. We have also a concept called literature review, which in research is an exhaustive review of a wide range of existing literature on the research topic. An exhaustive review of a wide range of existing literature on a research topic. I think that explains itself. We have also methodology. The term we use a lot also is the rules and procedures of research work. And qualitative research, and people speak about qualitative research and quantitative research. Here, qualitative research is a research approach that focuses on human beings as a research subject and on the observation of events from the perspective of those involved in an attempt to understand the behavior of individuals. So qualitative research is more of researching the behavior of people, whereas quantitative research, on the other hand, it's a highly structured research approach that involves the quantification of concepts in order to do measurement and conduct evaluations. And there's another concept which calls research design. We're going to speak into 3 categories, if not 4, of research. I'm going to take you through the research process, and then this concept also will become clearer. Okay. Research design, a plan or a set of guidelines and instructions that enables the researcher to determine the research methodology and to address the research problem. Simply put, I'm going to do either apply the basic research, but I need to explain to whoever's going to read my findings or my research to say, what tool did I use to get to the answers? So that also, if my final recommendation says people should do XYZ for them to live happy lives, people could go back and also test the validity and reliability of the tool that I used. If I make an example, which is not also related maybe to research to some extent, I'm saying you want to extract a tooth. You've got a toothache which is paining, and you want to go and extract it. And I say to you, okay, fine, I've got a pair of pliers. Come here in my bedroom, and I'll come and just take care of that toothache. What are you going to think? You have a bad toothache and someone wants to use a plier just to pull it out. So you thinking about the plier and everything and what it's used for. It is used for mechanical purposes, more especially on metal and cars and so on. And think about it coming to your tooth and just extracting it. So it's painful itself. So you say, no, the tool is not appropriate. I'll rather go and see a dentist, for them to extract. So it's something like that, to say, will a plier be an appropriate tool to take care of your aching tooth? Chances are no. You might need to use relevant tools that are used by dentists, to extract that tooth. So such is research design. What type of tool are you going to use to prove or confirm your hypothesis, if you have one, or the cause and effect relationship between your dependent and independent variables of your problem statement? So you need to confirm the vehicle that you are using, and then it will allow whoever's reading your work to say yes, or it will make actually your findings to be accepted, to be reliable, considered reliable, to be considered also valid. And then what we have here, there's a sample. It's another concept which is put here. A sample is defined simply as a subset of a population. When we do research, we research a particular population. It can be a community, it can be a religious group that constitute a population. But given that we've got limited time and sometimes also resources, you might find that you want to research South Africans. We've got plus minus what? 51.8, if not 52 million South Africans. Do you have the resources to go and research all South Africans, all 52 million of them? Chances are no. Yes, you can do it. You can do it between now maybe and the next 20 years. That is doable, But will the results after 20 years be considered to be valid? So many things change, within a year, let alone in 20 years. So you don't want to be doing a research over 20 years, and whereas things change, by the time you get to the end and you do your recommendations, so many things have changed, and then your findings are not, valid. So in that particular population of 52 million, you will sample it, and by sampling it will take a portion, and might be 10%, it might be 3%, depending on the size that you're taking and depending on the type of your research. And then that 3% or 10% will constitute a representative of the whole 52 million. And in that case, you can do your research very fast, and then also generalize your findings. Also, there's a concept on itself to say what is research generalization. Okay, so just be mindful of those concepts. Check your study guides, also check the textbook that's been prescribed or that's been recommended to look at the various concepts and tools in research. Don't assume to say this means this. Just go to the concept every time and confirm what it says. Also, you're still allowed also to use outside resources outside of research, to check different meanings, to say what does a particular dictionary, it might be Weber, it might be Oxford, it might be Wikipedia, to say what is the meaning of this particular concept. So if you try and understand the concepts from various points of view, it enables you to have command of what you're doing, and also to be firm and on the results and what you're researching and so on. So please understand the concepts. It will help you a lot. And I normally advise students to say, whether you're writing a research proposal or you're writing a research dissertation, make sure for each and every section heading and also subsection heading, you define that. When you define a section heading or subheading, you making it clearer to you and whoever's going to read your work, to say, if someone here was speaking about having to say it's research design, and you say, according to such and such an authoritative author, this is a definition of a research design, and then you go after that definition, you start talking now towards that definition, you have already channeled the reader to say, my understanding of research design is as defined above, and then as you talk about it, then we know what it is that you are actually addressing, rather than you just go to the research design and you talk, you present your work. If you know what you're talking about, you will you can do that, but whoever's going to assess or read your work will have their own different meanings of what research design is. Okay, so try by all means to define the concept or describe it, whichever is easier, and also to reference your sources, also to say, okay, this was taken from an authoritative source. An authoritative source is someone who has published extensively. They've got their name there, they've got the date of publication, it was published by so and so on. So unlike where I just took something from a newspaper and then I said, people think XYZ. Yes, people are entitled to have their opinion, but that does not confirm and say, whatever people's opinion is really the truth about that particular issue that will be discussed at that point in time. Okay, thank you very much for this section. We'll continue again now, getting into the actual research process.